Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains. This week's video, I've been looking at the lights I did, and I know I did a video earlier on how I do the lights on my buildings. And this is what they look like now. And to get that effect, what I'm using are these incandescent peel and stick lights. They're easy to use, and it really doesn't matter what I hook them up to, and they work with 12 volts. It doesn't matter, you know, positive and negative where it goes. But that being said, the problem I have with it is they're not as bright as I'd like them to be. So we're going to change these to a different lighting. We're going to use LED lights, which are much cheaper and hopefully much easier to use. So in this video I'm going to show you how to hook up the LED lights. So let's go into the workshop and see how we get this started. Okay, so what I did was I went out and bought a roll of LED lights, which are these right here. There are 600 lights on this strip, and what you get in the box is, well, what do we got here? We got directions on how to use this. We don't want any of that. And what you get are the LED lights, and these work on 12 volts as well. Now, the big difference and the reason that I want to switch to using these other lights is that 600 of these on a roll cost me $10. For a pack of 6 of those incandescent bulbs was probably about 12 bucks. And these are going to be, should be brighter than what I'm using in there already. So I'm going to try these out and we're going to see what's going to happen. So here's what we're going to do. This end here is if you're going to use these lights as they are and stick them to something, and then you use the adapter here and you can plug it into the wall. I'm going to be running these off of DC, so we're going to cut this off. This plug we don't need. So what I've got here, let's see if I can get a closer look at this. Okay, so what we have is a strip, and there's a line, there's a black line that runs right here straight through. There's one here, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, and then another red line. These break into strips of 3. And then at each end, there's this little pad right here, and that's what we're going to solder wires to hook up to our DC power source. And then there's a resistor right here already built in so that we can run it on a 12 volt source. So all we need to do is take scissors and we're going to cut off here, and we're going to throw this side away, and then we're going to cut off, I'm going to measure out how long I need for the building, so how many sets of 3 that I need. And we're going to cut it off appropriately. Now, because our building is a corner building, so it runs down so our building runs down one side and then down another. I want to do one set of leads going to the bottom of the layout underneath, so I'm going to run a strip this way, I'm going to run a strip this way, and then I'm going to solder the two together to make one lead with wires so that I can make this corner. And then I'll put another set of leads at the one end, and I'll drop that set down to run into my 12 volt power source. So let's get this started and see what happens. Okay, so let's start cutting this up. So I'm going to go on the first black line, and I'm going to cut it off. And I'm cutting it, I'm leaving the black line on one side. So what I need is 8 inches down one set of buildings. So each of these sets of 3 covers an inch. So I need 8 sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Should be to right here. And if I'm right, that should be 8 inches. Yep. Alright, that's 1. And then another one that's for 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so what we need now, what this is going to do, it's going to bring us one set of lights this way and one set of lights this way. And that will light the two sides of the building. So what we need to do now is we're going to solder leads onto the copper pads on each end. And what I'm going to use is I happen to have some 20 gauge stranded wire. I just happen to have blue and yellow, and we're going to use those on here. Now when you look on here, there's a plus and a minus, and you have to pay attention to that. If you hook these up backwards, it won't work. So as I'm looking here, I see okay, so the plus is on this side, the minus is on this side. So I'm going to use the blue for all the plus sides. I'm going to cut one short one and one kind of a long one. Now the short one is going to connect the two together. The long one will go at the other end, and that's what's going to drop down through the layout. And then we'll do the same with the yellow. Okay, now I'm just going to strip both ends. And then I'm going to tin both ends. Now, I'm just going to solder, I'm going to put the blue wire on the plus side like this. We're going to solder it right in place right there. Now we're going to take a yellow to the minus side. Okay, so that's on there. And now we'll do the same at this end. Just want to make sure we match the plus. Go this way. We'll keep the plus on the same side. Okay, so there we go. Now we have these all connected together, and I know they're good. I can pull them, they're not coming apart. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to strip this other end, and we'll hook it up to a 9-volt battery. And we'll make sure that they work before we go set them on the layout. Okay, so here's a 9-volt battery, and when you look on the battery, the small side is the plus side, the big side is the minus. So because our blues are all hooked up to the plus, we'll go here, and we'll take a yellow, and we'll run it over here. And we have lights. So there you go. Now the only other thing now, these are peel and stick, and we can go stick these on the layout and see what they look like under the building. Alright, so there's the difference. Now you can see the difference between. So this is what it looks like with the LED lights. Now obviously, you know, these buildings up here I haven't finished yet, so they're going to be a lot brighter than they should be. But these buildings here are the ones that are done. And it makes the interior show up a lot better. You can see things more clearly inside. It's more the effect I'm looking for. Now if I turn off these lights and I can turn on those lights like that, and then I have a night view like that. So this would be a nighttime view of what's going on in there. Now obviously I still have to do the line around the bottom here to seal that from the light leaking out, but that's the idea. Now the other buildings with the incandescent bulbs look like this. There's quite a bit of difference in brightness. Now I can probably, I'm thinking maybe cut back on those LEDs just a little bit. Maybe I'll take off an inch of lighting off of that just to cut back. I think maybe that might be a little too bright, but that's incandescent. That is LED. But you can see the difference it makes. Everything is much brighter, and once I finish all of this, this lighting back here will go away. That won't show any longer. So there you go. That's LED lighting. It's very easy to do, and it's cheap, and they last a whole bunch longer than the incandescent bulbs. These are rated, they should last me a good 10 years in there and never have to pull up the buildings again. The incandescents, I don't know, I've had these on here for a year, but they're not nearly as bright. So I need twice as many. So this is only one strip going across this way, and the incandescents, the way it was, I was using 6 bulbs across this. So cost-wise, 600 of these for 10 bucks versus a pack of these for, I don't know, I think $12. I think I spent on these regular incandescent bulbs. So the LEDs are much more cost effective, and I think they look a whole lot better. You can see so much more with them, and I do like the effect. So give LEDs a try if you want. They're well worth the effort and time to put them in. So I hope this helps somebody. Thanks for watching my video. Visit my website, mikestrains.wordpress.com. Sign up for email updates. Not everything I do shows up on YouTube. Sometimes I do photo updates. Sometimes I do other stuff. So give my website a try, and we'll talk to you next time. See you next video. Bye.